Hello and welcome back to another video from Checkered Flag Sim Sports. Today we're going to be looking at our Code 80 procedure here at CFS and what you as a driver need to do when one is announced by race control. If you follow this video, you can ensure that you and your team will avoid any unnecessary penalties and stay on track during these difficult moments. So why do Code 80s exist? Quickly then, let's cover that. So Code 80s are called by race control when A. There is a large accident that cannot be cleared quickly, there is a stationary vehicle in a dangerous position, or lastly there is a slow moving vehicle with severe damage that could lose control if allowed to return to the pits at their own duress or pace. So the purpose of the Code 80 then is to minimise the potential of further teams being affected by an accident or an incident that's on track until it's been cleared and we can safely return to racing conditions. So how as a driver do we know if a Code 80 is in progress? So this is the TeamSpeak server that you should all be connected to. It's currently set up for the 6 hours of Silverstone, and what we're going to do is we're going to be in one of the GT3 channels for the purpose of this video. So what you'll be as a driver is in one of these channels that represents your team, and you'll be happily driving away, and there'll be someone in the race director's box such as myself or one of the admins, and you will hear the command, "This is race control, stand by for Code 80 in 10 seconds or Code 80 in 10 seconds or similar to those words." And then there will be a countdown from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Code 80 in effect. Code 80 in effect. So that will be the command, and at that point, as soon as the Code 80 in effect has been announced, then you should all be on your pit limiters and in the lowest gear possible. So that's the lowest gear possible. The reason for this is if you go into a higher gear and you're going downhill, you can sometimes gain more speed than what is allowed due to the fact that gravity exists. What can we do during the Code 80 window? So when the Code 80 is in effect, you can enter the pit lane. It is open from start to finish during that time, and you can enter the pit lane to A. change tyres, B. refuel the car, or C. conduct a driver change. Those are the only three things that you're allowed to do during a Code 80 period as a driver. When the accident has been cleared and race control deems it safe to return to racing conditions, they will announce the command, "This is race control, stand by for green in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, green, green, green." And at that point, once the first green has been announced, it can return to racing conditions. So you come off your pit limiter and return to racing speed. At that point, you can overtake any vehicles as you see fit. So what happens if you're the one causing the Code 80? What happens if you suddenly run out of talent, go off circuit, do a full 180 and end up in a ditch somewhere? So same procedure as before. So the race control will announce that Code 80 is in effect. You will then need to apply your pit limiter. So it's one vital thing you need to do is remember to apply that pit limiter. Wait for the traffic to go by. If it is safe to rejoin, then you can accelerate back onto the circuit limits and then rejoin the back of the pack. Ensure that you are on the pit limiter. If you do exceed 80 kilometers an hour or whatever the pit speed limiter is, then you will receive a penalty for it. So make sure that pit limiter is on. Let's quickly touch on what you can not do during a Code 80, as this has happened before in some of our events. So you cannot serve a stop and go penalty. The drive down the pit lane is part of a Z penalty and therefore cannot be served. Similarly, you cannot serve a penalty as part of a scheduled stop. That's for both during and outside of any Code 80 procedure. So penalties must be served on their own and not as part of a scheduled stop. Similarly, you cannot serve a drive-through penalty during a Code 80. And the purpose is that you will all be doing 80 kilometers an hour. So therefore, if you serve a drive-through, you will actually lose no time whatsoever, as displayed in the video. So for the purposes of that, you cannot serve a drive-through under code 80. So to summarise then, when a code 80 is called, you must apply your pit limiter. You must then go into the lowest gear possible. You can go into the pits to service the car with fuel, tyres, or conduct a driver change, but you cannot serve any penalty whatsoever during code 80 periods. That's it for this video, guys. I hope you did enjoy and this cleared a few things up for you. If there are any questions, feel free to contact us on our Discord or via the comment section below. Thank you so much and take care.